Lone Peak and its companion peaks that make up the Lone Peak Wilderness have always dominated the scenery from my neighborhood in northern Utah County. This remarkable white granite wilderness, home to cougars, bears, and eagles, sits high above the populated valleys below, mysteriously remote but always within sight. And nestled among these stunning peaks is a real gem of beauty, a high alpine crystal clear lake called Lake Hardy. Most of the valley sits at about 4,500 feet elevation. Lone Peak is 11,077 feet high, and Bighorn Peak is 10,880 feet high. The trailhead at Schoolhouse Springs starts at 5,545 feet. From the trail, a series of switchbacks lead up the mountain through scrub oak forest and into maples around the time you reach First Hammond Gog. The maples eventually blend into pine and aspens as you approach Second Hamongogs. Then you climb towards the white granite that makes up the upper portion of the peaks, leaving the forest largely behind from Window Rock on, until you reach Lake Hardy, which sits at about 9,941 feet elevation. My friends Jason and Jen hike here every year, and after 20 years of living in the shadow of Lone Peak, I finally went with them to experience it for myself. Passing through this gate, you are surrounded by private property, so please stay on the dirt road until you get to the wilderness area. The total hike to Lake Hardy gains about 4,500 feet and is about 7 miles long, so the distance and elevation gain are similar to climbing the summit of Mount Timpanogos, a popular hike nearby.
Number one switchback.
So at the first switchback, you've gained 195 feet of elevation from 5740. We only saw a handful of people on our hike to Lake Hardy, instead of the steady stream of traffic that seems to crowd the Timpanogos Trail both day and night.
So second switchback?
Number two.
At the second switchback, you've gained 395 feet of elevation.
A couple times.
At 5940.
Thankfully, I've been on enough to realize this is not the trail.
You do not go that way. Keep staying on the road. End of the second switchback.
By the time you reach the third switchback, you've gained 555 feet of elevation, so you're at 6,100 feet above sea level.
Why? That throws me off, because sometimes I don't even know.
Third switchback was short.
At the fourth switchback, you've gained 655 feet of elevation.
The end of the fourth switchback.
At the fifth switchback, you've gained 755 feet of elevation for a total elevation of 6,300 feet.
So this is the one he said's really steep. It goes from steep to steeper. But what views? What views? Still part of the fifth switchback. The road just has a little change in direction.
At the sixth switchback, you've gained 1,005 feet of elevation for a total elevation of 6,550.
Yeah, nibs are good. Okay, so the road goes that way, right?
Yeah.
But we will go up that way. All right, back up to the road. That's the way we didn't go. That's the way we did go. That way.
And if you're not careful, you'll miss this.
On the way down.
On the way down.
So if you get to a house,
There's a little spring along. What switchback is this? 6?
stay with him.
Is this the end of the 6th one?
Number 6.
Okay.
Alright, the seventh switchback, you've gained 1,355 feet of elevation for a total elevation of 6,900 feet.
What peak is that one right there?
Oh, look at 5.1.
And what's that one called?
I don't know.
It's Bighorn Peak.
But
Oh, there's Lone Peak.
Lone Peak is that little V notch.
Yeah.
It's like a Nike swoosh. It's on the right side of that.
stream down there.
That's pretty.
You can hear.
Here by First Hammongog, you first enter the Lone Peak Wilderness,
Gotcha.
and this is the First Hammongog.
Oh, this is First Hammond.
Hammond Gog is an old term that comes from the Bible, which means a great valley. It's found in Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 11. Hammond means multitude in Hebrew, and Gog refers to a military leader of a great battle in the future. So Hammond Gog means the multitude of Gog, indicating there will be a huge post-battle burial ground in a valley. You've gained 1,555 feet of elevation at First Hammond Gog for a total of 7,100 feet.
I don't like it.
Okay, so you can go to the right and get to Lake Hardy that way, but it's steep and hard and feels long, or you can go to the left,
Well,
and it's
still
nicer.
steep and hard and long.
but more
and part of
enjoyable
it is
somehow.
Second Hammongog is, if you're gonna camp, it's just like,
Gotcha.
and I'm yelling at everybody, we've got to get up this mountain, blah blah, by our marshal and
We didn't know if we should go to the lake and just hang out by the granite. Oh,
Yeah. So there's this little landmark. It's a camping spot. Very exposed, but it's flat at least.
dumb camping spot. Don't camp here.
I would say that's a fourth.
Maybe a quarter. Okay. Landmarks. The whole valley is spread out.
Your heart rate's in.
Okay, on this ridge line where the trail turns back to the east, you've gained 2,135 feet of elevation for a total of 7,680. You can also see Lone Peak.
To orient you, see those cliffs on the right side?
We'll call this whole area approaching Second Hammongog the Second Hammongog area. By the time you get to Second Hammongog, you've gained 2,674 feet of elevation for a total of 8,219.
It's the first level trail we've had in miles.
I'm going to show you a little bit more of what this beautiful area is like. It's like the Garden of Eden. It's just gorgeous.
Beautiful.
There's water source, and it's a great
Beautiful,
spot
soft
where you can camp if you decide
woods.
to haul a backpack.
I've never camped this far west, but I mean,
Yeah, beautiful.
so the dog that goes right up to
Oh yeah, there it is.
Remember saying there's a hole?
Oh, look at that.
I just sit right on this rock, put my feet there. Come right to that spot right there.
Yeah, there is a spring right there, isn't there? So this is where it all starts, huh? Beautiful. Amazing.
So again, there's this beautiful forest surrounding Second Hammongog, and the valley itself is flat and pristine and beautiful. So this is Second Hammongog, a nice resting spot before the final ascent.
So we're at Second Hammongog, and Lone Peak is right up there. To get to Lake Hardy, we're gonna end up working our way up here and then sort of around over that way.
See that little sign in the meadow?
Yes.
That's where we cut right to go to Lake Hardy.
So, Lone Rock that way, Lake Hardy broken sign this way. Rattlers or?
I've seen one.
It would be a good spot. If I was a snake, I would live here.
Kind of final last look at Second Hammongog before heading up the slope.
Can I GoPro record the smells too?
I wish. So there was a big avalanche that came through here with all the heavy snow this year. Kind of flattened out all these trees.
Well, and these trees are small, and they would because there was an avalanche that came through 20 years ago, and they never
recovered.
never fully recovered.
It's cool rock. It's a good little stopping point. We're off the trail, but pretty rock to sit on, pretty view. So at this point, the trail is going to go to the right side of this rocky outcropping up this way. So there's a cairn here. You can know that you're on the right track. And you said we're going to go kind of up around to the right.
Up left and then right again.
Okay.
Over here. We're gonna end up at that pine tree.
Okay.
And you'll turn left and go straight up there.
Okay.
Because the trail used to go straight down through there. And we're actually gonna go straight up through here.
Okay.
Yep. You can see the cairns on that.
There is a sort of a trail that goes down that way, but it's a little better to go up. A little steep, but there's a cairn. Kind of guide you up this steep way. Wow. You weren't kidding.
Is that amazing?
What a view.
So is that
What a view.
Yeah.
We call this Window Rock, not sure what its real name is, but
Really cool.
by the time you get here, you've gained about 3,750 feet on the trail for a total elevation of about 9,300.
From here, the trail heads back up that way. Okay.
You can definitely see this ridge all the way up.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
you've reached the top of the climb from Window Rock, and now the trail actually heads downhill a little bit. You're at about
Everybody's kind of gathered around him.
4,055 feet of elevation gain here, total of about 9,600.
Sweet downhill. But that's a pretty brutal 4.5 miles to get here. Brutal's maybe too strong of a word, but it's challenging. Am I leading us off the trail? Or does it go down? Does the trail go down?
It goes down
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
For the next couple of miles, you sort of wind through this high granite wilderness in and out of these patches of green and over
Okay.
the white rock.
This is 3 weeks in a row of hiking, isn't it?
Right. Skunk Cabbage Oasis.
You can hear little insects in the
Yeah. Okay, so we're going up this way. Not the way the cairn shows, because that drops down into a valley. We're gonna try and keep our elevation.
So at this point, the trail actually does go pretty far down into a valley that then climbs up towards Lake Hardy.
Kind of
We're
the last
opting
big
for an
hill
alternate route of staying high.
going this route.
We actually gain more elevation than we need to get to Lake Hardy, but we figure that's better than going down into this deep valley.
Came up from that way. Do we head down here, Jason, or still farther up? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Pine trees right there by the lake. Wildflower tour. So the alternate trail goes down the bottom of this valley and kind of follows the stream coming out of Lake Hardy all the way up. Sorry, I'll tell you what I mean.
Lake Hardy is at 9,941 feet for a total elevation gain of 4,396.
We made it.
Mountain lion over there.
Did you really? I've never seen a mountain lion. That's a thing I would like to see safely from a distance. Beautiful Lake Hardy.
If you don't know what you're doing, you'll keep going and go to the cliff.
Okay.
Wait, what?
The views looking down towards Utah Valley are just so breathtaking on the way back. It's surreal up here. It's beautiful. It's otherworldly, and it's all within view of the city. I included just a little bit of the hike down, so you can see how amazing it is.